Hey there, and welcome to our lazy review of this new film called Blue Beetle. And what is Blue Beetle? It's another superhero entry from the DC Universe. And truth be told, I wasn't really looking forward to this, not because I don't like Blue Beetle, because I've read him in several comic books and seen him in different cartoons, but he did want to go see this. But for me, it's because DC doesn't know what the hell they're doing, and apparently this film was filmed before the whole announcement of James Gunn taking over, so it still kind of has ties to the old universe. But then, according to James Gunn, it's supposed to be in like the new universe. I wasn't sure, so
I don't care anymore.
let's talk about it, and we'll start with some good old Sprite Zero Sugar. And before we get into it, do you care about the character of was it this one is Jaime, right?
Yeah, I like Jaime. He was the one I grew up on, and he's a really cool character.
And of course, Blue Beetle, much like different characters throughout the comic book industry, there's been multiple Blue Beetles, and I think this is the third one. I forgot.
Second one.
Pay attention.
Beforehand, I got some more of my good old Kraken. Look at that, fresh out the freezer. So I'm mixing Kraken with Sprite Zero. Some people are probably like, you freaking moron, but why not? Let's try it, because never drinking this shit straight again. All right. After we toast, we'll talk about, well, my three lazy questions. Let's try. You got Sprite,
Mhm.
Sprite, and Kraken Sprite. Ready? Check this stuff out. Let's go. It's okay.
I've had better.
Okay, so before I start my intro, which I hope that you enjoy, for every single laser review, I ask three very simple questions of myself, and now with him as well being with me. Number one is, do we like the film and how do we feel about it? Number two would be, do we think that this film is worth a recommendation? Should you go see it? And number three, but most importantly for me, being blue collar, is, do I think this film is worth your hard earned money? Like, should you go out and see it right now? Possibly do like a Redbox rental or something? Maybe just wait for streaming, and who knows, we'll get there. But beforehand, yeah, let's drink some more of this stuff and this horrible Kraken with friggin' Sprite. But I'm gonna toast him, start the intro, and we're gonna tell you all about the latest DC Universe extended pre-James Gunn, what the fuck ever. Let's talk about Blue Beetle and Jaime Reyes. Ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Enjoy the intro. Dear God, the Sprite's not helping this stuff. Never doing this again. So, okay, what is Blue Beetle about, and what the hell's going on with this film? And off the bat, we have Susan Sarandon, and dear God, woman's like in her 70s. She still looks fantastic, and she plays a character called Victoria. What is Victoria trying to do? She's trying to find the Scarab, and the Scarab is basically the power of Blue Beetle. And the Scarab, it's a big long story, but the condensed version is it's like this little alien piece and this alien weapon, is it?
Yeah, it's a weapon.
Okay, it's a weapon, and what it has to do is it has to find a host. Now, this could be a good thing or a bad thing, but of course, like every single evil bad guy, she wants to take this weapon and she wants to harness the power for herself. And what does she want to do? She's building an army. It's not original, but been there, done that.
That's just lazy writing.
After she finds the Scarab, then we cut to Jaime Reyes, the Blue Beetle himself, or actually, he's not the Blue Beetle yet, but we'll get there. And Jaime, he just got done from being in college and he comes home. And I'm not going to lie, like most superhero films, the first 35, 40 minutes is just a build up and it's this big family dynamic. And I started feeling bad for the kid because I can relate. His family is a bunch of blue collar people. His dad had a heart attack, his business is going under. And of course, these big corporations, they're about to push his family out because they're buying a property, they're raising his mortgage. His family is losing everything. It's a pretty sad story and something I can damn sure relate to.
I understand your pain.
So now Jaime, being fresh out of college, he's down on his luck, and what happens? His sister gets him a job opportunity. The job opportunity is inside of the Cord building. And of course, the Cord building is where the damn bad guy, Susan Sarandon, is. Then she has a niece named, what's her niece's name?
Jennifer.
Okay, Jennifer. Basically, they get into an argument, and Jennifer's father was working on the Scarab and this project, but apparently he can never really harness the power and understand it. And of course, Jenny does some bullshit break in because apparently this place has really bad security. But what does she do? She sees the Scarab and she steals it. And now, through happenstance, she runs into Jaime, gives him this box, and she's like, you know what? Don't open this box and guard it with your life. And of course, what does he do? He brings it back home, and his entire family is like, hey, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
Not till you give me the
What's in
gun.
the fucking box?
Give me the gun.
He just told you.
So after Jaime opens up the box, guess what? The Scarab, it has to pick a host. And also the Scarab, it is sentient and it just doesn't pick anybody, but it decides to pick Jaime. And I will give them credit. you've seen this part in the trailer. As soon as this thing like attaches itself to his face, and then what it does is attaches itself to his spine, he does this whole mecha epic transformation, turning into the Blue Beetle. The CGI was pretty fantastic, and we get this whole basically kind of quasi Iron Man sequence where he's flying up and down, and the Blue Beetle, it's testing out its powers, testing out its capabilities, and of course, after a test run, he comes crashing back down, and then he's naked.
He was naked.
He wakes up after the test run, and then Jenny finds out where he lives, and everybody's freaking out because they find out that the scarab attaches itself to him just like a symbiote, just like, say, the Venom movies. And the problem is, you can't remove it. So now Jaime's freaking out because the only way to remove the scarab is by killing him. And the kid's like, I don't want to freaking die. So, of course, Victoria, it just comes down to her trying to take the power of the Blue Beetle from Jaime, and basically she has like this right-hand man bad guy. I can't remember the guy's name. Do you remember?
No.
Yeah, exactly. And as would happen, they get into this big CGI fights, and does the hero win the day? Yes, he does. And we're not even joking. There's like nothing more to talk about. That's the entire freaking plot. So let's just move on and talk about our 3 questions. So number 1 off the bat is, did I and did we enjoy this film? I'll let him talk in a second, but I know for me going in, I do like Blue Beetle. I do like the character of Jaime. And I didn't have any kind of expectations based on what DC's doing. So I didn't love the film by any means, but also I didn't hate the film. I did enjoy parts of this because, truth be told, let's break down the good. The good is the CGI in the suit. It does look freaking badass, and I give them credit where the suit, he doesn't use the same weapons over and over and over again. The suit keeps changing what weapons it gives him access to. Also, because the suit is a weapon, when he first puts it on, this thing wants to kill everybody, and he has to constantly tell this thing that he wants non-lethal weapons, so I did like that part. Also, the good is the family dynamic. Jaime does have a very strong family. I won't spoil nothing, but in the 3rd act, something happens with his father. I'm sure you guys probably know what's going to happen, but it causes Jaime to like embrace the Blue Beetle and embrace the kind of hero he is. I don't know, that's pretty much it for the good because my criticisms are about to start. What did you like about Blue Beetle?
I liked Jaime. I feel like he carried the movie overall. I feel like the CGI was good. The fights were interesting. I really loved the fights.
But let's come down to, the bad and also what we recommend seeing this film. Off the bat, the freaking bad, and I gotta say this, is that I don't know much about George Lopez and his comedy, but holy fuck, this guy he's just an asshole.
He's an asshole.
George Lopez plays his uncle, and I'm not sure much about the guy's comedic chops because I don't know him that well, but in terms of this movie, he's fucking insufferable. Like, every time he talks, and you can see in the trailers, he's the one that calls Batman a fascist, and
It's like Batman stuff.
Batman's a fascist.
it's just everything he says is on the fucking nose. Like, there's one part where he talks about the government and always rounding up Mexicans, and even when Jenny is explaining the power of the scarab, she's explaining to these guys that this thing is alien technology. It's from a different planet. And you do understand the fact that Superman does exist in this universe. In fact, they even mention Superman, the Flash, obviously freaking Batman. Superman is an alien. And then, of course, her uncle says, or his uncle says this line of like, well, I don't like the term alien because, get it? Mexicans, alien, get it?
That's a fake laugh.
It's real.
With the film being 2 hours long, I do feel like they could have shaved off easily 15, if not 20 minutes on this film because Susan Sarandon's character and, of course, her right-hand man, they're very cliche. It's been there, done that, and this is becoming a problem with just every modern comic book film is that they don't have interesting bad guys. It feels like her bad guy and her motivations were just taken from like 4 or 5 other movies, and they weren't that interesting. I'm sorry to say this. So would the 2 of us recommend you see this? I would say see this if you do like Miguel from Cobra Kai and you do like the character of Blue Beetle. But overall, it's kind of like, it's one of the films where it was okay.
You're average at best.
I could see a lot of people skipping this film and even a lot of people waiting. And that comes down to my 3rd question is, do I recommend you should spend your hard-earned money seeing this film? Truth be told, no. I would not recommend going out right now and seeing this, and even, very simply put, HBO Max and wait for streaming.
We could watch Netflix.
It's not offensively bad, but it's kind of forgettable, so that's just my recommendation, alright? Hope you guys like our laser review. I'm going to toast this, and as I always do, get freaking ready, check my goddamn time. I'm always low on time. I'm about to get ready for work. He doesn't work because he's lazy.
Get a job, you lazy kids!
Toast his stuff right now. I'm gonna grab Bender, and we'll see you guys later. If you do check out Blue Beetle sometime, let me know. All right, ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna grab Bender. See you later.
This calls for a drink.
I don't like this stuff, but oh yeah, catchphrase.
It's called a catchphrase.
I'm gonna head back to work and cheers.